Every week, we give you all of the tools you need to add 6 figures of bookkeeping and advisory revenue to your business. Okay, so we cover lead generation, handling consultations, how to price your services, how to offer advisory services, and finally, how to scale up leveraging people and processes to pull yourself out of the business so you can generate more revenue and do less work. So welcome. It is Tuesday, February 8th. I'm just happy to be here because I'm on jury duty this week. So I called in last night and found out I didn't have to be there today. So I'm a happy guy, although I've always wanted to be on a jury. I've always wanted to be on a case. I think that'd be a cool experience. But anyway, I am here and I'm looking forward to talking to everybody. Now, I am streaming this on my YouTube channel, so if you're watching this in the Facebook group, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you're notified of new videos. And if you're on YouTube, be sure you join the private Facebook group, okay? The links are below. And today, we're going to be talking about something really, really exciting. It's probably my favorite topic of all the things that we talk about, and that is sales funnels. Okay, this is sales funnels. This is lead generation. Okay, so now we're talking about getting clients. There's those 5 things I talked about earlier that we help with. Lead generation is the engine. Okay, that's where it all starts. And so if you get your lead generation dialed in, you are able to generate a consistent flow of clients, and then you can pick and choose who you work with. So that is really, really cool. And this is the way to do it. So I will also mention that if you want to, and I see a couple of people already on YouTube entering in the chat, if you want to ask questions, you're welcome to do so. Okay, on YouTube, just type into the chat, and on Facebook, just type in the comments. I see them here, and I'll answer questions as we go. So now sales funnels are, bar none, the fastest way to get clients to generate 6 figures in revenue. Okay, they just are. And we're going to go through why that is and how they all work. So they just allow us to get clients quickly. All right. And so when it comes to, as you may know, I've worked with over 3,000 people helping them start and scale their business, lots of them doing 6 figures. And this is the area that most of them ask about, getting clients. Okay, so I want to make sure that you have the tools that you need to get all the clients that you're looking for. So when it comes to sales funnels, if you're anything like me, and feel free to type in the chat or in the comments, when I first heard the term, I was confused. In fact, after I had heard the term many times, I was still a little confused and fuzzy. Anybody else feel the same way about the term sales funnels? You've heard about them, but you're like, okay, I kind of get it, but not really. If that's you, feel free to type a me in the chat or in the comments. Let me know I'm not alone in feeling that way. And most of the people that I work with are that way. They aren't quite clear on what they are, how they work, and how you actually implement them. So I want to really break it down for you all today in terms of exactly what they look like, what they're for, and how they work. Okay, and why they're so effective. But at its most basic, a funnel is going to be an automated way of getting someone from the point of not knowing who you are to booking a call. Okay, an automated way of doing that. And now you might be thinking, well, okay, if it's automated, like I don't want to be all salesy, and I don't like to use the word sales funnel, but that's just how they're referred to. I don't want to be salesy. You can be authentic. Okay, you can do this authentically. And in other words, this automated path that you're walking people down is something that is truly authentic, instead of just hitting them with sales messages all the time. Okay, and we're going to go through how that works. So, but first I'd like to take a step back and talk about how lead generation works regardless of what strategy you use. So it's basically there's 2 components of generating leads and getting people on the phone. And the second, I'll start with the second, is you've got to communicate value. You've got to do that. Okay, you've got to communicate value. Whether you're networking at a networking event, whether you've got a Pro Advisor profile or a Google My Business profile, or you're reaching out to people on LinkedIn, or you're on any other website or doing any other type of marketing, you've got to have a message. You've got to have a message. You've got to have a message that contains and focuses on the value you're able to bring to the table. Okay, if you're networking, you got to tell people how great your services are in terms of the value that they can provide. You've got to communicate that. Okay, so that happens whether you're networking or doing online marketing or sales funnels or ads or any of that stuff. You've got to communicate that value. And then the first step is you got to get that in front of people. Okay, you've got to get that in front of people. If you're going to go to a networking event, you are going to be standing in front of people. You want to get this message in front of people. So it sounds very basic, but it's an important concept to break down and understand that it really is that simple. You know, people kind of make lead generation out to be something a lot more difficult than what it needs to be. And if you have the right message and if you put it in the front of the right people, you'll get all the prospects you're looking for. Okay, so what we are going to be focusing on today is this part. Okay, this part that lets us communicate value automatically or in an automated way. Okay, in an automated way. That's the sales funnel piece of it. Okay, and I'm going to walk you through the steps. But if we have this system that is automated in communicating the value and our messaging, we can take that and we can put it in front of the right people, no matter where those people are. So this works best. This works best for certain marketing strategies. For example, you could take this sales funnel and put it in front of your target audience using Facebook ads, for example. You can also take this funnel and put it in front of your target audience on LinkedIn. Or you can have a link to it on your Pro Advisor profile or on your Facebook page, any of those places. So again, this is the part that automatically communicates that value and takes people along that journey from being a stranger to then being like booking a call with you. You can put that anywhere. So this is kind of the strategy. Think of this as like the strategy, whether it's LinkedIn or Facebook ads or Facebook groups or your social media profiles or Google My Business. You can put this anywhere. Okay, so keep in mind that's what we're looking for. I'll talk about some of the best ways, well, in fact, I'll talk about it now, some of the best ways, the best places to put a sales funnel in front of your target audience. And that is, before we talk about that, I'd like to talk about the different types, just remind you about the different types. We have inbound strategies where clients find us, think Google My Business, Pro Advisor profile, your website. Those are inbound strategies, okay? Prospects find you. A sales funnel works best with outbound, okay? Outbound strategies, which means these are strategies where we're doing some sort of active outreach, okay? Either we're on LinkedIn connecting with people, we're putting a message purposely in front of people via Facebook ads, those types of things, okay? Outbound marketing. So we're talking Facebook ads, we're talking LinkedIn, and also like Facebook groups. If you're in any Facebook groups out there, you may have seen people using this strategy without really even knowing what they're doing. And people in Facebook groups will provide value, either through posts, valuable posts, or valuable comments and answering questions. Because, you know, if you're anything like the 99.9% of the world out there that sees something in a Facebook group or on Facebook and somebody says something incredibly valuable or incredibly stupid or incredibly offensive, you click on that person's name and you're like, who the heck is this weirdo? Or who the heck is this person that's providing all this great value? And then on their personal page, they have a link to their funnel. Okay, so they're actively adding value to groups in the hopes that you'll click on their Facebook personal page and see a call to action. okay, you'll see the link to get into their funnel. Okay, so outbound strategies is where this works best, but that said, you could use this on inbound strategies as well. Okay, so if you're talking about your Google My Business or your LinkedIn or your website or ProAdvisor, you can also have a link to your sales funnel. Okay, so it works best with outbound strategies. And as you know, when we use an outbound strategy, it's typically best to focus on a niche. Okay, just real briefly, in terms of niches, we've talked about it in the past, but with those inbound strategies, I can't control what kinds of people find me. With my ProAdvisor profile or Google My Business or even my website, I can't necessarily control whether or not a restaurant owner or a construction company owner or a chiropractor or a lawyer or a dentist finds me there. I can't. So those strategies, the inbound strategies, I like to keep very general. Okay, and that lets me get a lot of leads. I get multiple leads every week from like ProAdvisor, for example, inbound strategies. Those are general. I want to appeal to a wide audience. But when I'm focused on outbound strategies, where I'm reaching out and connecting with somebody on LinkedIn, or I'm putting a message in front of somebody on Facebook, I want to be speaking their language. I really want to be speaking their language. So I'm going to want that sales funnel to be focused on a very specific niche. And when I talk about niche, I'm talking typically about industry. Okay, about industry. So if I'm going to have a sales funnel, it's typically going to be associated with a particular industry, whether it's restaurant owners or construction or real estate. The messaging really needs to resonate with those people because, again, with Facebook ads and LinkedIn, you can really target people to a very high degree. I can tell Facebook to put my ads in front of construction company owners, and it's going to do a really great job of doing that. So it allows me to really speak their language. LinkedIn, same thing. You can connect and get in front of people that are in your specific industry. So you want to take advantage of that. It's, if I own a restaurant, I'm going to much prefer hearing someone say, hey, I help restaurant owners grow their businesses, maximize profit, as opposed to, I help small businesses grow. Using that restaurant language is really going to resonate with me more clearly. Okay, so that's kind of the backstory. It's just important to have that foundation. Okay, it's very simple. No matter what we're doing here, we got to put the right message in front of the right people. And this person looks a little shocked. This person looks a little angry. So let's make him a little happier. But shocked is good because hey, we're gonna shock them with value. And then it really works best with outbound strategies focused on a niche. So let's walk through and make this concrete. Because for the longest time, I'm like, okay, what the heck is it? Is it web pages? Is it emails? Is it like, what the heck is actually happening? So I'm going to do my best to draw a little diagram here. Let's just label this. This is going to be the funnel process. And the first step, and again, we're going to put this in front of people on a variety of different platforms. And I don't care if that's LinkedIn or Facebook, or wherever it is, okay? But we're gonna go find those people, Facebook, maybe LinkedIn, I don't know, okay? But they're gonna see something. On Facebook, they might see an ad. LinkedIn, they might see, we might send them a message, okay? We might send a direct message to them. And it's going to offer them something of value. It's gonna say, hey, I've put together this really cool thing for you. And it's specific for your particular situation, and it contains some things that you can use right away. It's really cool. If you'd like to check it out, click here. Okay? So they're going to click that ad or that message, and they're going to go to a landing page. It's called the landing page. Okay? It's essentially a web page. Okay? If you've heard of the term landing page or squeeze page or any of those types of things, a landing page is a very specific type of web page. It's a web page that gives a user one choice and one choice only. Okay, so it says, hey, do you want this really great thing that has all these great benefits? Click here. And they're going to click a button and they're going to enter their email address. Okay, so again, we want to generate leads. So a lead is going to be represented by someone that has shown interest in something that we have, giving us an email address. in exchange for something of value. Their email addresses are valuable. Okay, they're valuable to us, obviously, but they're valuable to them as well. And they're not going to just give them up because you're like, hey, will you give me your email address? Maybe I'll send you something great, but maybe I'll spam the heck out of you and irritate the heck out of you. They want to know that they're getting something valuable in exchange for the value that they have, which is their email address. Okay, so this landing page can have a picture, your picture, a picture of the free resource that you're going to be providing them. We'll talk about that in a minute. And some text with the benefits that they get by downloading this thing or watching this video, and a button. And that button allows them to enter their email address and click submit. Okay, so two things happen once that happens. The first thing that happens is that they go to another web page and they get their item of value. Okay, and I'm going to go into this in some pretty great detail. But then the other thing that happens is that their email address, once they enter that gets added to some email software. Okay, you can have, again, this is automated, so all these things are connected, but this gets added to some email software. Let's see if I can draw some envelopes. Okay. Hey, this is pretty good. This is pretty good, actually. All right. So they get added to an email software that then will follow up with them via email. But let me return to this and let's talk about the types of people who are going to go straight through the funnel and book a call, and then we'll talk about how we get those people who aren't able to look at the value right away, or they watch it but they're not really ready to book a call yet. We'll get into that. So they're going to see this thing of value, okay? And this is the most important part of the entire thing. This is how important it is. It gets 4 stars. And that star was not very good. But this thing, the success of the entire funnel hinges primarily on this piece of value here. Because remember, we've got to put this in front of strangers and make it attractive enough for them to want to enter their email address to obtain. Okay, so you might be asking, what type of value are we providing here? Well, this also, just so, in case you're kind of somewhat familiar with this process, this can also be called like a lead magnet. Okay, a lead magnet as well. Again, acting as a magnet to get those leads. But this piece of value is going to take the form of, typically it's one of 3 things. It's going to be a training video. It can be an ebook, or it can be, what's working really well right now, is a case study. Okay, let me explain what each of these 3 things are. Keeping in mind that the goal of each of these 3 things is to give them something of real value. And I'm not talking about just, hey, here's some things that are nice to know. I'm talking about things that make these people say, oh my goodness, I need that thing and I need to be able to implement this in my business right away. So when we create these things, we want to keep that in mind. These things have to be enough to make them say, wow, that's really cool, number 1. And number 2, I can actually use this in my business right away. We want to give them 100% value. This is not sales. And this is where the authentic piece comes in. We really want to be of service here. We really want to be of service here. Give them something of actual value. People purchase from those who educate them, okay? People purchase from those who educate them. This also establishes you as an authority, an expert in this area, okay? So now, training video, what does that look like? Well, let's start with an ebook because that's a little bit easier for us to kind of visualize, because most of us have probably gone through this process. We saw something where somebody offered a free ebook. Hey, you want to download this free ebook on how to take better pictures with your iPhone, or how to raise a beta fish that you got at the county fair. No matter what that is, a free ebook on growing your bookkeeping business. You've probably done that. Okay, so an ebook would, in the context of this, be something like the top 4 ways The 4 financial tricks restaurant owners need to make more profit and minimize taxes if you're talking about taxes as well. The top 4 financial tricks that restaurant owners use to make more profit, to grow their business, to expand locations. To a restaurant owner, that's going to be really attractive. They're going to absolutely want to know what that's all about. In fact, I helped someone set up, all she does is restaurant accounting. And we set up this funnel for her, and that was her. We did a training video and an ebook. We did both. And that's essentially what it was. It was the top 7 financial tricks for restaurant owners to make more profit. And it worked really, really well. And we launched it during COVID, and it worked really well. She got lots of leads. But it's got to be valuable. Each of those 7 or 4, whatever it is, however many tricks you come up with, have to be valuable. And they have to be something that they say, wow, I need this. I can implement this right away. Maybe I don't know exactly how to do it myself, in which case, hey, guess what? we can help you with that. That's what an ebook is going to look like. And a training video is basically a video version of the ebook. Okay, so if you put together the top 4 financial tricks for restaurant owners to make more profit, expand locations, whatever the case may be, because face it, every restaurant owner and pretty much every business owner wants to expand, especially locations when it comes to restaurant owners. You've got the ebook, and then you basically make PowerPoint slides out of the ebook. Okay, the ebook kind of turns into a PowerPoint slide, PowerPoint presentation with bullet points, and then you just simply record your screen, and then you speak over the top of those slides. How cool is that? So the ebook, what I like to do with the ebook is I come up with my tricks, and I basically do it in bullet point format. I come up with the top 4 tricks, put some bullet points why each of these tricks is important, what it is, the great things that are going to happen once you do these things in your restaurant business, and the terrible things that are going to happen if you don't. I like to do kind of an outline like that. I've actually got a copywriter that I work with. I send it off to him. He's got experience in bookkeeping. He writes me this beautiful ebook. I send it off to somebody on Fiverr, like a designer. That's a website. If you don't know, it's you can pay, $20 to have somebody make this beautiful ebook for you. And now you got this very, very valuable resource that you can put in front of these people that are going to motivate them to give you their email address. Then once they consume that, at the end of the ebook, it's just like, what's next? What's the next step? Well, implement these things in your business. You can do those things today. If you'd like help implementing these things and would like to talk about other strategies you can use to grow your business, you're welcome to book a call with us. And there's a link on the last page of the ebook. That's basically what it is. It's all value, and then it's an open offer at the end. Hey, you can go ahead and implement these things on your own, but if you'd like some help, we're here for you. And you can book a call like this. A lot of people will book a call directly after reading the ebook or watching the training video. The training video, again, is something that I get designed on Fiverr. And so I get the PowerPoint slides, and then I just record my screen. And it's like a 10-minute video. And I walk through it, and at the end, same thing, same call to action. When it comes to the training video, that will be directly on this page. So once they enter their email address, they'll see the video directly on this page. There will be a button underneath where they can book a call. So in the video, at the end of the video, I'd say, hey, if you'd like some help implementing these things in your business, click the button below this video. They click that button, and they go to the next step. Okay? Ebook, they can go to this page that has a button for them to download the ebook, and you can have a button for them to book a call, but I like not to have that button here because they haven't consumed your information yet. Okay? That button would be on the ebook. Now, what's really working well right now, what's working extremely well, is a case study. A case study is a video. It's going to be in video format. And what it is, for those people who have clients and you've been a bookkeeper for a while now and you have some client success stories, you're going to walk through that client's history, okay? And you're going to do it in a way that's basically communicates those 4 tricks, okay? So you want to come up with your 4 tricks and then show how you used Those 4 tricks, you implemented those 4 tricks with one of your clients and the results that they were able to get. That is really effective. So if I'm doing a video and in my PowerPoint presentation, I can have a, if the person, if the restaurant owner, is open to it, I can have their picture and, their company name, whatever it is, and I can talk about this client, kind of where they were, where they are now, how I implemented these 4 things. As a restaurant owner, I'm going to really relate to that story, and it's going to really encourage me to book a call. That is super effective right now. If you don't, you might be saying, well, I'm new. What if I don't have success stories? That's okay too. Come up with a scenario. Come up with, you can do it in the context of, here is how we can help, how we can help restaurant owners. Let's meet Bob. Bob's the owner of, Bob's Tacos. And Bob has these problems. Okay, so you're going to come up with a scenario like that. It doesn't have to be real, but what's real is the problems that he's facing and the solutions that you're able to provide for him. So that's really, really effective. And you can, with all of these, with each of the tricks that I implement, I like to talk about a potential benefit. I will put that in there. One of the tricks that I talk to restaurant owners about, a lot of them, for whatever reason, they've got their POS system, the servers are, processing orders and taking credit card payments, is not connected to QuickBooks or not connected to their accounting platform. So that work over there on the accounting side of things is being done manually, and it's almost 100% of the time being done incorrectly. And that screws up sales tax, it screws up inventory, it screws up so many things. And I talk about how easy it is to implement these things, automate that process so we have correct inventory numbers and we have correct sales tax figures, and we're saving a ton of time. And the potential dollar value of that is $10,000 to $15,000. I like to quantify the benefit of each of those tricks. Okay, so that is where you're going to spend a lot of your time in setting this up. Is just making an incredibly valuable piece of information here. This lead magnet, this what do they call it? Irresistible resource. Okay, it's called a lot of different things. But that's what you're going to do. You're going to want to provide that value. Now they trust you. They've seen some things that are could change their business in dramatic ways, and they are going to then move to the next step. Not all of them will, but a big chunk of them will move to the next step. And guess where that next step is? Book a call. Okay? Book a call. This is another web page, and this will have your calendar, whatever you're using to book calls. I like to use Calendly. Okay, Calendly basically connects to your personal calendar, and offers up times that you're available for people to book calls. Super cool. I remember when I first realized this was a thing, I was blown away. Somebody who was a salesperson had it in their signature of their email to book a call, and their email was terrible and provided no value, so of course I wasn't going to do it, but I saw the power of providing something of value and then offering somebody an invitation to book a call, which is so much more effective than expecting somebody to reply and go through some email conversation to determine whether or not there's anything here. It's just incredible. This page, you can embed in this page your calendar link. Okay, your Calendly or whatever the heck you use, you can embed that here. It offers people a chance to book a call. Now you've booked a call. Now you want to close it on the consultation. Okay, so this is the flow for someone who sees your messaging, says, I want that, goes to the landing page and is like, yeah, heck yeah, I want those amazing benefits that you're listing here. They enter their email address to get it, they consume it, and they say, this is awesome, I need help with this, let's book a call. Super effective way, and about 20% of people will go through this sequence here. So out of the 10 people that you put this in front of, 2 of them will book a call. Hold on. Out of the 10 people who consume this here, opt in, will book a call. after consuming this here. Okay, so they enter their email address, 20% of those people book a call. The other 80%, for whatever reason, they just won't be ready yet. Okay, if you've seen my free training video, you enter your email address and the video starts playing right away. And some people are, well, one person in the program who ended up signing up, Mara, she said she started watching it in the drive-thru at a fast food. She was waiting, and so she was scrolling, and she saw it, and she started watching it. She wasn't expecting it to play it right away. So sometimes people aren't expecting it to play right away. They can't watch it. That's totally fine, because we offer the ebook for download later. We offer a link to the training later, or the case study later. Okay, that's where this email follow-up comes into play. So we are able to, and if we get really advanced, there's some software, super cheap software, that will determine how much of the training video they've consumed. And if they haven't consumed enough of the training video, like they haven't gotten to the point where I asked them to book a call, or they've only watched half of it, they didn't go through all the tricks, they can go here instead of going there. Okay, so if they watch this, 25% of this, then close out of it, I can then follow up with an email like, hey, you might want to go back and check out this piece of value because you're going to miss these things. If they watch it all the way through, then they're not going to get that first email. Okay, there's a lot of customizations you can do here. You can determine exactly what people are doing to give them the right next step. Okay, so 20% of people are going to do that. 80% of people who opt in for your thing need more. They can't watch the video right away. They can't watch the ebook. They need some time to watch read the ebook or watch the video. Or maybe they're just not convinced yet. Okay, we've done a really good job of providing something of true value here, but some people just need more. You've heard the old adage that someone needs to interact with a brand on average 7 times before they make a buying decision. And I think that number is like gone up a bit with now all the online marketing we're being blasted with every day. But if it's 7, they've seen us once here, maybe seen us here, we may need to follow up with those people who just need a little more. Okay? And so these emails are going to help do that. They're going to help push someone further and further down the funnel towards booking that call. Okay, so each one of these is going to provide something different. Okay, there's a handful of things that you can have each of these emails focus on. They can be more value. Okay, they can be more value, more success stories or case studies, and you can blast away with more value. You can never go wrong with more and more value. Okay, so these are things that are. I like to see value and success, the success stories, and again, if you don't have success stories, you can talk about how this would change a restaurant that you're referring to, like Joe Blow's Tacos. Okay, so you can walk through about how the problems that they're having, because essentially what you're doing is you're giving them that training video. Here's the top 4 tips, but you're kind of telling it in story format. You're telling it in story format is really all you're doing. So, and you can even say that. Take Bob's Tacos here, for example, or take your average taco stand, and here's kind of the problems that they're facing, and here's how you could solve those problems. And so you're giving them that value. You're showing them like success stories. You're talking about one of the most important things that you can be doing in these emails is addressing objections. Objections. In other words, if somebody didn't book a call with you right away, the first one typically is going to be, I should just point this out, the first one is typically going to be a link back to the training video or the ebook or the case study. Either in case they missed it and weren't able to watch it right away, or in case they just wanted to watch it again. Okay, they loved it so much they wanted to watch it again. And then you get into your value and your success. But objections are really important because if somebody doesn't book a call right away, there's a reason why they didn't. Okay, there's a reason why they didn't, and it's important for you to learn, and it will depend based on the industry that we talk, that we focus on, kind of what their normal objections are to working with someone who can help them implement these things? Do they think that that they won't be able to afford you? You've illustrated the fact that you're this incredible authority here. Are they afraid your fees are going to be out of their reach? Well, that's something we can address here in this email. We can talk about how fees for help like this are really an investment because they provide an immediate return, and here's how they provide a return. We plug those holes in your inventory issues, and we bring your cost of goods down to sort of where the industry likes to see them. Whatever it is you do, you can assign a dollar value, just like we do in the consultation. Assign a dollar value to each of the pieces of value that we're able to create for someone, and we can show them that hey, that's a fraction. Consider that working with someone to help you implement these things costs just a small fraction of the additional dollars that are in your business as a result of working with them. So they might have a lot of different objections. Maybe they have trust objections in terms of, they just don't trust anybody. I'm doing all my stuff on my own, and I just don't trust anybody. And we can address those. Maybe they are people like they want to be doing it all. Their marketing and their bookkeeping. So maybe that objection email, we can talk about how it's actually costing them money to be doing their own books. And they're doing it wrong. So it's costing them all kinds of money. So those are the types of emails, and you can just alternate them. Value, success, objections, value, success, objections. And what I like to typically do here is an email every other day. Okay, an email every other day. So you end up with about 15 emails. Okay, and each of these emails provides something of value, talks about a success story, real quick success story, or an objection. And at the end of the email, there is that call to action to book a call. Okay? So you're constantly pushing them back to book a call. And that, my friends, is a sales funnel. It is a series of steps, automated, but I like to say authentic, that move someone from stranger to booking a call with you. Someone who goes through this process, ask yourself this. Someone who goes through this process, they see this incredible messaging here somewhere where you put this in front of your audience. They say, that's interesting. I'd like to see that. They go to a landing page that lists all the benefits that you're going to give them in this valuable piece of information. They say, okay, yeah, I'm on board. They consume that, and if this is great enough, they consume that and they book a call, or they book a call after following up with you. Do you think they're more inclined to already be sold on working with you, or do you think they're less inclined or as inclined? I think it's obvious that someone who's going to take those steps before they even get on the call now is going to be much more likely to work with you. They're going to be pre-sold in a sense. They see you as an authority. You've provided them value. They've taken the big step when you consider you didn't even know them, a day prior or a few days prior, of booking a call with you. They know you charge for your services, but they're interested in the value that you create. They are going to be pre-sold on working with you already. Okay, and that's the cool thing. This thing pre-sells them. It demonstrates your authority in this subject, restaurant accounting, restaurant bookkeeping, and it really positions themselves so that you get on the call and this is a completely warm prospect. This is no longer a cold prospect who, I love the inbound strategies. I mean, you got to have those inbound strategies up. They're killing it out there right now. ProAdvisor, Google My Business, get those strategies up. But those people are a little colder. They haven't gone through this nurture. This is also can be called a nurture email sequence as well. Okay, so we nurture them along. They just need more. And that's basically how it works. And I have all my organic stuff up there. Okay, all my inbound stuff up there, which I'm thinking of taking down just because we're doing some significant levels of revenue here, and I'm kind of happy with where we are. We add additional revenue, and we're probably going to have to add another manager, and you get to that critical mass where it's now not just hiring one more person, it's hiring another manager and then people underneath that person. So I'm not sure I want to go there with two young kids because we're doing kind of what we'd like to be doing. But when I want to get clients, you just flip this thing on and you put it in front of the right people. This is something that once you get it set up, you can imagine this is like, again, an asset that you have that just can generate calls for you all the time. Once you've created the landing page, this great thing of value, and you've written out all these emails, those are all pre-written and they get sent out automatically by the email software. This is now a machine that's out there and working while you sleep. Okay, so if you are in my mentorship program, and I see someone on Facebook saying, watching now, I'm still interested in joining, is there currently room for me to join, and what is the cost? Yeah, if you're interested in joining, you're absolutely welcome to do that. We do have some room right now, and all the details are, you'll want to go to boomingbookkeeping.com/summary, okay, for the latest info. boomingbookkeeping.com/summary. It's a mentorship program if you haven't heard of it. But I walk you through stuff like this. This is one of the more advanced concepts, but we walk you through all this stuff. I work with you both to get you trained up if you have no bookkeeping experience, all the way through handling consultations and pricing and lead generation. Okay, so we work together. So thanks for the question. Finding Tina says, what programs do you use to create this? I'm so glad you asked because I wanted to go over that and I almost forgot. So here's what I like to do. For me, it's all about Facebook ads when it comes to putting messages in front of people. LinkedIn is effective too. LinkedIn, you can organically, just yourself, go out and make connections and send messages, directing people to the funnel. Or you can use, there's some automated software out there that can help you with this. LinkedIn is always changing their terms of service, so whether or not that automated software is always on the approved list or not, you'll want to check into that. But one of the really effective things you can do on LinkedIn is have like a virtual assistant do the outreach for you. Okay. Again, you're going to have to pay something no matter what you're doing in terms of marketing, either money or time. But I like to use Facebook ads because I just, hey, I can earn. It costs me like $750 to acquire a new client through Facebook ads, who is going to pay me on average of $1,000 a month. So the return is huge there. I'll just do that instead of spending time here, but you can do what works for you. So I like to do Facebook ads here. The pages, the landing pages, I like to use, let me just use a different color. So the pages, I like to use ClickFunnels. There's a lot of different software out there that can do these things. I like ClickFunnels the best because it really helps plug into a lot of different tools really easly. It's not the best software in the world, nothing is, but I like it. A lot of internet marketers use it, so maybe you've seen some of these people out there using ClickFunnels, and you're kind of like, are these people on the up and up? But at its foundation, the core ClickFunnels is a great software. Okay, so that's what I like to use. That one is $97 a month currently. I actually pay $297 a month because it allows, I've got more functionality there. But that's for your funnel pages. This book a call, I like to use Calendly, which Calendly is free if you want to use just the basic version. But what I like to do is, since I'm using Facebook ads, I like to integrate it with Facebook, number one. Number two, if you're just using the free version, you cannot, once they book the call, you cannot redirect them to another page. Like after this, you like to redirect them to a thank you page or something like that. And I like to do that. But just the default Calendly thank you page is enough as well. But just so you know, I think I pay I don't know, what do I pay? $15 a month for that. $15 a month for that. So that can be free. And then this email software, the best one out there is, I love this one, ActiveCampaign. And I forget how much this one is. The basic version is fine here. But I think the last time I looked, it was it's 15. Because I added all these things up and it's like $127. So that's $127 per month. And you can't beat this deal. You can't beat this deal. I mean, it's like $127 a month, and you're generating, I get this up, and it's I'm closing multiple $1,000 a month clients every month. So, the return is just huge. Especially when if you're saying, okay, I want to do this stuff and I want to try to do it for free, maybe MailChimp can do some of what I want here for free. Maybe I can find I've got my website on WordPress, and maybe I can, tinker around with those pages so that there's no menu at the top and it's just that button there, and I can just use the free version of Calendly. You're going to spend so much time, again, getting this stuff implemented and connected for using these free tools. I just want to do this the quickest way possible with the right tools for the job. Because if we look at this isn't costing us $127 a month. This is making us thousands of dollars a month. We have to see that. We have to be able to see that for ourselves. When it comes to creating a sales funnel, using ads, investing in a mentorship program or a business coach or whatever the heck it is you're investing your money on, we've got to see that as an investment. Because if we don't see that as an investment, if I don't see this $127 a month plus whatever I'm spending on Facebook ads, which when I'm doing this, I typically spend like a couple of $1,000s a month on it for accounting clients. But kind of a sweet spot there to get started with a monthly Facebook ads budget is you can get started for between $500, $900, something like that. $5 a day even. You can even start with something like that. That's a low budget, but you can start generating some leads. But that all is an investment. I'm going to see that back. I'm going to see that money back. And if we are not able to see that for ourselves in our own business and see how valuable our time is, then what business do we have talking to business owners saying, hey, you shouldn't be doing your bookkeeping. You should be focusing on growing your business. We have no business saying that. One of the biggest selling points and advantages of working with a bookkeeper is, hey, these business owners that are trying to do it all themselves, they need to be out generating revenue. They're going to make more revenue than they pay us, by far. And we're actually communicating that to people. We are communicating that to people. But if we're looking for the free way to do everything, we don't believe it. We're trying to sell something we don't believe in, and we have no right doing that. Now, I'm not saying you have to do any of this stuff. I'm not. I'm just not, okay? You can do whatever works for you. I don't like to network. I don't want to, my wife had to go network. I tell a story all the time. She's a chiropractor, and she used to have to get up at 5:30 in the morning on Wednesdays to be at a Marie Callender's at, 7 o'clock to network with other broke people. Now, and they're not all like that, but it was a grind. I'm not excited about networking. I'm not excited about in person. I'm not excited about any of that stuff. I'd rather just contact thousands of people at a time online. But for the people that enjoy doing that, we have somebody in the area here who, man, she's like a born networker. She just loves connecting people. She's so good at it. She loves doing it. And if you love doing it, that's something sometimes you have to pay to get into these networking events. But, if that's something that you love, that's free, do it. You could have success with it. Okay? So I'm not saying that this is the only way to go. But I will say this. If we're trying to get clients and we talk to prospects and we try to illustrate the value we bring to the table and how the return on their investment is going to be significant. If we're saying that to them, we've got to believe it for ourselves in other aspects of our business. Okay, we've got to. If we're trying to always find the free way to do things, we're wasting a ton of time. And that time is greater than money. People say time is money, but time is greater than money because time is a non-renewable resource. Okay, we can't get it back. Okay, great question though. I really appreciate that question because these are the tools I use for this, and super effective, and you can put this in front of anybody, anywhere. I got a couple of questions in the chat. Hey, Devin, good to see you here. Good to see you. And again, for anybody watching, feel free to type questions into the chat or into the comments. And I'll be on for probably the next 5 to 7 minutes. We've got a mastermind meeting after this. So Devon says, how do you choose a niche to get started? And if you've never really worked in a specific niche, you don't have to. You don't have to. Again, if you're doing like inbound marketing, you really don't need to specify a niche there because you can't control who's finding you there. If you're doing outbound, it is helpful to choose a niche, okay? And if you've never worked in a niche before, that's fine too. That's totally fine. There are so many resources out there on how to find a niche, and then how to find like good niches. Which niches are profitable? Which niches are fun to work in? Which niches aren't going to, drive you up the wall with all their complexity? Okay, and so you can learn about specific niches. Absolutely, you can learn. There's a lot of information online. If you know somebody or can make a connection with somebody in that niche, sit them down and just ask them some questions. What are some of the most common problems in your business? How do you solve them? What are some of the goals that you have for your business? How do you solve? How are you working towards those? Start gaining that knowledge, because that knowledge will, again, it's an investment that could be worth a ton of money for you. Okay, so that's one of the ways that you can do that. But if I were brand new and I didn't know anybody in a niche and I wanted to work with restaurants, I would just dive into restaurant accounting and I would Google how to expand my restaurant business and the top problems that restaurant owners face. Financial problems that they face. Just Google it like crazy. Alternatively, you can get linked up with somebody who has experience in that niche. In our program, we've got people that work in every single niche. Okay, so we've got all of that covered. If a program like that is right for you, if not, that's fine too. But if there are resources out there. Okay, Devon, you're also asking, is learning how to target in Facebook ads part of the mentorship program? Yes, absolutely, it is. We go over this. It's a more advanced tactic. I think the Facebook ads video is, I think it's like 2 or 3, like 3 hours worth of content. It's a lot, but again, it's a skill that once you master that skill, we're spending between my accounting practice, if you add the accounting practice and my mentorship program, Facebook and YouTube ads, are what we use. We're doing $175,000 in ads every month. Every month. I did not wake up one day and say, I want to learn Facebook ads. Because I thought, hey, I just want to get some clients. Then I started seeing this opportunity and I said, this sounds complex. But if I can learn this could be worth a lot of money to me. And if you gotta imagine that if I'm spending that amount of money on ads every month, I'm probably seeing a pretty good return, and we are. So you do this right, and it's just a really valuable skill. Another question: do you ever hire people to get clients for you, and you pay them on a commission only? No, I've had bad luck, and if you ask around, most of the agencies that purport to find you clients, it's they try to get you on a 3-month contract and maybe they'll get you a couple people, maybe they won't. They work in quantity, not quality, so it's easier for them to sign up new businesses to get clients for than it is to just get more results for the existing clients that they have. So it's just littered with people, stories of people not getting the results they're looking for. If you learn how to do these things on your own, again, this is like a super valuable skill. And I mean, if you wanted to we've got people in the program doing multiple 6 figures, this is the way to do it because it's automated. Once you've got this thing perfected and running, you just start pumping it in front of as many people as possible. So it's really valuable. I will say that in my mastermind program, I am developing an add-on to that program where, now this is a very high-level coaching program for people who typically have their own businesses running already, but we're working on generating leads for people in my mentorship program. So I'll keep you posted on how that goes. Obviously it's going to go well, but in terms of the logistics, like I've got 7 people in my mastermind, and getting them, we're gonna have to do like a round robin thing on the book a call, which is like once they click that button to book a call, it's round robin. Like it'll rotate through the people, whoever's next up, whoever got the last book call, the next person in line will get the book call. So in terms of the logistics, I'll keep you posted on that, but I'm really looking forward to that. Finding Tina says, when your program closes on the 15th, when will it reopen? It's based on whether or not after the deadline, it's based on whether or not there's space available. If there's space available, I'll do my best to get you in. But if you want to save your spot, I encourage you to sign up. If you feel like it's right for you, if you feel like it's right for you, you can save your spot, because again, you get lifetime access to everything. So even if you can't get started right away, you're good to go. On Facebook, it says, Facebook ads can be quite expensive. Is there a way to start out with a low budget and have success with it? Yes. I did talk about this a little bit earlier, but you can start out like $5-10 a day. I don't like to start out less than $10 a day, but now we're talking about $300. And so when you use the word expensive, I like to put that in context. Because if I'm spending $300 a month, and I mean, $300 a month, it's going to take me $300 per month. Since the cost to acquire a new client is about $750, it's going to take me 2.5 months. 2.5 months to get a client on average, just because you generate less leads at a smaller budget. So that's $750. $750 I'm paying, and I get a client that is now going to pay me $1,000 a month. So that year they're going to pay me $12K, and I only spent $750 to go get them. Okay, if you want to do the math, we really should be charging at least $150 an hour. Again, it's fixed fee when we charge our fees, like it's a flat monthly fee. But we should really be charging, when you work out the math, $150 an hour, and that is, let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 hours. So we got to understand that this represents 5 hours of our time. I'd rather spend the 750 hours than waste 5 hours of my time trying to get a client. Okay, so when you say $750, well, that's expensive. It's related. You got to think about the context. Okay, related to generating $12,000 of revenue during a year, I'd say that's a steal. Okay, but again, keep in mind that you're always going to spend something, either your time or your money, when it comes to getting clients. Very cool. I am all caught up. Devin, looking forward to work with you. And yeah, I'm glad that you found some value here. Really have. And I do practice what I preach. I put my money where my mouth is. If those Facebook ads and YouTube ads fall off, I'm in big trouble. So I make sure I'm on the cutting edge of everything. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. I hope you enjoyed this. If you're watching the replay on either YouTube or Facebook, be sure that if you have questions, comment, and I will get back to you. And questions about anything, okay, be sure to hit me up. And with that, I will wrap things up. Remember, we do this every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Hopefully I won't be on jury duty next week, but that's it. We'll wrap